Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I'm so happy you're here, and if you're new, hi, my name is Anna. Oh my gosh, I know I've been gone forever. Where have I been? What have I been up to? Well, you're gonna find out in this video. I am pregnant, 15 weeks today, and I've been really sick, so I had to take a break from YouTube. I get into all the details in this video. It feels so good to be back, but also super weird. I feel like kind of weird talking to the camera, but you guys, it's so exciting. I have so much to share, and I do my makeup. So if you want to get ready together, if you want to hear the story of, how my pregnancy has been going and all that, then just keep watching. Let's start this off with cracking a little Waterloo. Whoa, that went everywhere. Okay. I just have to state this. I'm actually embarrassed to be putting my face out on the internet right now. This pregnancy, the hormones have been making my face go crazy with the acne and the texture, but it also doesn't help that I cannot use my normal salicylic acid and benzoyl peroxide while pregnant, and those were my main sources of skincare to get my texture and my acne minimized at least, and I can't use those. So this is what we're working with. Let's start my makeup. Then I get into the chatty mood once I start doing my makeup. I'm so happy you guys are here. I'm so happy I'm here. This feels very weird, very good at the same time. As you guys, if you've been following for the past year, I was pretty consistent with posting at least once to twice a week for about 7 months. And then I got pregnant and I've been super sick. Didn't think pregnancy would be this hard, but yeah, it has been. So I was not filming. I was in no form to film, edit, literally anything. My husband Chandler has been doing all the home chores, and he's the one that works and provides for our family, and I couldn't even make dinners at the start. I mean, it's getting a lot better now from where it was. I've been really sick. That's where I've been, is on the couch in my house. I have been doing some stuff with family and everything, but it already took so much effort to even go out or see people or have people over, that it was it was just too much for me to even think about filming and doing YouTube while I was that sick. But I'm back, and I'm hoping that this second trimester wave of feeling a little bit better, it was very slow. I think people acted right when I got into 13 weeks, I was gonna feel completely fine. And I'm at 15 weeks today. And it's still there in the mornings, the nausea and the queasiness. But it is getting better. Before, it was all day. I was vomiting. It was bad. So, let me back up and start this pregnancy story from the beginning. Chandler and I have been married for 4.5 years, and people right after we got married started asking us when we were having kids. Neither of us even knew, I think we both really did know in the backs of our minds that we wanted kids someday, but we weren't absolutely yes, we want kids. We were still living our life, having fun. I need lip balm. Lip balm, please, where are you? Aha, got some. So we weren't ready yet. We wanted to really enjoy our marriage and live out our young life and start building wealth and all that type of stuff while we had no kids. And so people, I think, dropped it for a while, and we just were living our life. I'm sure people thought we were never having kids though, because 4.5 years of a married couple, people act is forever. So then throughout these 4.5 years, sometimes I would be ready, but he wouldn't be ready, or he would be ready and I wouldn't be ready. And we would just kind of talk about kids. Obviously, we both knew we wanted them then, more and more. Sorry guys, I'm out of breath. So then it was so funny. I think I was ready for a few months, and I had told Chandler, hey, in the fall, I think it's just such a perfect time to get pregnant, or to try to get pregnant, because I was we can have our summer of fun, and then we can kind of lay low for the winter, and just everything I felt right in life. And then he like, I had said this probably in the spring or the summer, and he didn't agree, but he wasn't against it. You know, we just kind of, like, I kind of mentioned it. And then the funniest thing happened. We were at my parents' house, and my parents live like it was a cabin, and they've added on to it. And so now it's their house. They moved to their cabin, and now it's their house. They have a pond, and they have like acreage and woods, and my dad builds trails. And my husband Chandler was like walking on the trails that the one day. My dad was showing him some new trails that he made. And Chandler came home that night, and he was like, you know, Anna, walking in those trails really made me want a little kid next to me. And I was like, okay, like, so are you ready? Like, he was really serious about it. And then like another day happened where he was in those trails. He was like, yeah, I just really was like, I could just totally have a kid next to me, like one of our kids next to me, like walking through these trails. I was like, that's so weird. Like, but I guess there are things when you just realize. My moment, I think I was doing errands. Like, I was shopping around, and I was doing errands, and I was going to my mom's house, or like his mom's house. I don't know whose house. But I'm like, oh, I could have a kid in the backseat right now. Totally. I could totally do this. Like, with my little mini me back there, or a mini Chandler. Like, I don't know. That was kind of my moment. And then that's when I had told him about having a kid in the fall, like, or trying for a kid in the fall. And then his moment was definitely that walking in the trails. Like, he just had a feeling, I guess. And so we were like, okay, we're both ready. Like, this has not ever happened before. And I, from obviously hearing people's stories, never thought it would be quick, because people, you know, have miscarriages, and people, maybe it takes like up to a year, or even, I mean, obviously some people really struggle with infertility and it's longer than that. But I thought it would be like at least 3 months or something of trying, and I just expected it to be this whole big process. But I'm very in tune with my body, and I know, like, every month I knew when I was ovulating, and so that helped. And I track my periods really well on an app, and so I knew when I was ovulating. Then I had the worst PMS I've ever had in my life. I thought it was PMS, but actually I didn't think it was PMS, you guys. I was just telling myself, okay, this is PMS. You're just getting in your head, you know. But I've never been so tired with PMS. Like, after I was after that window of ovulation, I'm waiting for my period, and I'm like, this cannot be PMS. Like, I literally, I quote this to you. I said to Chandler, I feel in my soul that I'm pregnant, because I was so tired. I was just really bloated, and like, I just felt different than PMS. But I was telling myself, oh, it's PMS, because I did not want to get my hopes up. I'm like, no way can this work on month 1, right? And so I didn't get my period. Well, you know how the tests say, the pregnancy tests really get you. So they say, like, oh, 5 days early, like, you can test 5 days earlier than your missed period. And so I tested 5 days, 5 days earlier than my missed period. I think I actually did like 6 days, because I was like really excited to try. And it said negative. And so I was like, okay, well, it might be too early. I think I waited 5 days, or like the 5 days before my period. And I like tested again, like in the morning, they say do it in the morning. And it came back negative. And I'm like, okay, it still technically could be too early. But I was like, okay, I'll wait until like 3 days before. And so I waited until 3 days before my missed period, and it was negative. And so I'm like, okay, there's no way. Like, there's no way I'm pregnant. And I had 1 pregnancy test left. And so I waited. I told myself I was going to wait until like my period was like way late. But I knew that pregnancy test was burning a hole in my drawer. And so I tested 1 day before my missed period, and it was negative. So I'm like, okay, there's just no way. Like, now I'm just waiting to get my period. And sometimes my app is off by a couple days, like it comes, a little bit late, like 3 days late or 2 days late, or, maybe it comes early some months. And so I was like, all right, I'm not pregnant. I waited until my app said 6 days late. And I'm like, okay, I have to test again. Like, it's 6 days late. And you guys will see in the more formal video of me testing and like finding out. And I was just in shock. Like, I don't think it's even fully set in even yet. And I'm 15 weeks today, and I really don't think it's even set in. Like, it is setting in slowly, but for the first, oh my gosh, when you find out, it's like, what? Like, I'm pregnant? Like, I'm pregnant. It's so weird. I tested, and then I told Chandler that night when he got home, and yeah, I think he was in complete shock. I was in complete shock. Like, I don't know. It's so crazy. And even still, like, I went maternity clothes shopping with my mom yesterday, and I have a belly, and it's just like weird. It's just seeing yourself just change so much, and like thinking that there's a human inside of me, like, that's crazy to me. At like 6 weeks, I really got the nausea bad, like really bad. I was throwing up. I was waking up like 3 times in the night to pee, to eat something, because I would be so nauseous. Like, I would wake up and just in the middle of the night and just feel like I was gonna throw up, like so bad. Sometimes I would, but then mostly like I would throw up in the morning, and then sometimes all day. Like, there were certain days that I would be throwing up all day. One of those days was when my parents were coming over, and we didn't want to tell anybody originally until Christmas. Well, that ended up being way too far away. We could not keep the secret for that long, especially with me not feeling well. But we didn't want to tell too early, because we didn't want to risk it, like having a miscarriage and then everyone being sad, and we just wanted this little secret to ourselves. Only a couple of people knew, like my best friend Brittany knew, and like only a couple of people knew. Oh my gosh, this bronzer is not good. What is happening? I look like a crazy person, and it's so muddy. What? I don't like this anymore. Oh my gosh, you guys. What? If I keep layering products, my face is gonna look so cakey. I don't even know. You guys, I'm so sorry if I look crazy right now. That is the worst makeup I've ever done in my life. That is so bad. Okay. Anyway, I haven't used that product in a really long time, and I am not impressed. I also don't even really like this concealer, and so I'm just using it until I get different makeup. All right, I'm gonna try to like warm me up with a powder and see if that helps. Okay, I'm starting over. This is just not good. Not good at all. That is the worst makeup I've ever done in my life. I think it's that bronzer. That is horrible. Or it's this brush or something. But this is more about chatting anyway. So, I am so sorry, guys. But I'm not cutting that all out. I think all my products, though, honestly, are too thick. Like, I want full coverage. Full medium, like medium full coverage. But I don't want thick products. And this e.l.f. camo concealer is just way too thick. Like, I almost prefer my skin right now than with all that makeup on it. Oh my gosh. All right, so I'm gonna re-moisturize my face since I just took everything off, just to make sure it has a good base. All right, anyway, what was I saying? So much better. I'm just gonna do powder bronzer because I cannot even try liquid bronzer again. I'm so freaked out. I don't even want to use this brush either, which it's a broken elf brush, so I think that it's okay if I throw that away. So one of the nights was when my parents were coming over and I was throwing up all day, and my mom, that's when she said, like, when we did end up telling her, she was like, I kind of knew that night because you just looked sick. Like, I tried to fake it, and I didn't throw up, but I didn't eat the pizza they brought over, and she said that I just looked sick. Another time, I was so sick that the OB told me to go to the ER because I could not keep anything down for 24 hours. Water burners, saltines, like, nothing. I couldn't keep anything down. Applesauce. I was throwing up everything. And so I went to the ER and we were there for like 8 hours. I got like infusions of different medications and everything. And I was already on 2 medications. Like I still have 2 prescriptions for nausea. I'm only taking 1 currently because it's getting better. So that's the good thing. But I couldn't even keep those down. And so that's when I had to go to the ER. And then I had to go to the infusion center a couple times where they gave me like IVs and like fluids and a prescription for nausea. So it's been a whole journey. And throughout this entire process, I cannot thank my husband enough because he's been doing laundry and dishes and cooking along with working because I was not able to do like any of that. And so he did it all for weeks. And so I'm very grateful for him for that. And I think I have / had every symptom of pregnancy. It's so weird. I've been having things that I don't even know are symptoms until I go on my app and like track my symptoms. I only did that once, let's be honest. I have not been tracking my symptoms that much. But one thing was weird dreams, and I was having the weirdest dreams I had ever had in my entire life and never knew that was a pregnancy symptom. Like sore feet, like headaches, fatigue, obviously. I mean, everything. I had everything. So that was kind of like crazy. Very emotional too. I was even crying the night before last night at dinner with Chandler because I was like, it has been like 3 months of not feeling like myself and just feeling hungover almost in a way. And just 3 months of not feeling like my perky, like energetic self. And that can really like emotionally take a toll on you because the one day too, I even called my mom and I was just sobbing. And I'm like, I'm so bored sitting here. Like there were days that I was just sitting there because I felt so bad I couldn't even watch TV. I couldn't read. I couldn't go on my phone. I was just sitting there on the couch or I was just laying in bed just doing nothing because I felt so sick. And I don't think anybody, like my family, I think realized, but not a lot of people realized how sick I was. I was crying. I was calling my mom, sobbing. And I'm like, I'm so bored. This was right before Christmas, a couple presents to wrap. The dishwasher needs unloaded and I feel like I can't. And she was like, well, I will come over right now. And she lives an hour away. So she drove an hour, she unloaded the dishwasher, wrapped like 2 presents. I threw up when she was over, so I was not faking it. I like really needed help. Chandler was at work. And so she came over and just like kind of talked to me and just, it was so nice. I think she was there for like an hour and a half or 2 hours and then she went home. But that little bit was just so helpful. But now I am coming out of it, I think, like slowly. I'm only waking up once in the night to pee versus 3 times because apparently my uterus is not pushing on my bladder anymore. It's moved up, hence the little belly that's forming. Yeah, I can actually like wake up in the night and not feel like I'm gonna throw up. In the mornings I still do a little bit, but it's not lasting all day. But then the weirdest thing happened the other day. This baby does not like Mexican food. I have not wanted Mexican food this whole pregnancy. It like makes me gag. Especially my aversion is to corn. I cannot even think about corn without literally just feeling repulsed by corn. It's so weird and so gross. So gross to me. So anyway, a lot of like corn is in a lot of Mexican food. And so I just have not wanted Mexican food either, just because I think of the grease and this little bit of kick it has when it comes to the flavors. So the other night though, I was like, I haven't made Mexican for Chandler in forever. So one of his favorite meals is baked nachos. And so I'm like, okay, I'm going to make baked nachos, but I'm not going to eat the chips. I will have it on bell peppers so that it's super mild. I only put a couple little pieces of meat on each like giant bell pepper with some cheese, and that was it. And I didn't even eat like taco sauce, onions, guacamole, nothing. Like I just ate that plain pepper with the meat and cheese. And I felt fine that day. And I felt fine. Like I was reading my book. We ate at like 5:30 p.m. and it was midnight. I don't know why my food was not digested. This is the weirdest thing. I just got up and I threw up. I got up and I'm like, I'm going to throw up. And so I like ran to the toilet and I just threw up my entire Mexican dinner. And that was the only time, actually the second time in my entire pregnancy that I had eaten Mexican. The first time I, of course, threw that up because it was like pretty early on. But this, like, I felt fine. And then I just like stood up and I was like, I'm going to, like, what is happening? Like, I'm going to throw up. And so I like ran to the toilet. I threw up my entire dinner. And I'm like, and then after I felt fine, I was like, this baby does not like Mexican food. It's so weird. But you know what it does like? I hate calling the baby an it, but it's natural because I don't know if it's a boy or girl. So anyway, the little baby does love Asian food, which I haven't had like real Asian food really. Like I haven't been eating, what's that stuff that I really like? Kimchi. Like I haven't been eating kimchi and stuff like that. I did right when I was pregnant, but that was before the nausea. But it loves, which is so weird because soy sauce is not mild, I would say, but I think it's the rice. Rice is part of that brat diet that they tell you to eat when you're sick. And so I've been eating a lot of like rice and chicken, teriyaki chicken. The baby does like chicken because I loved boneless wings. It's so weird. I loved boneless wings when I was like nauseous. Like I could eat dinner out. Like if I could, it was probably like once a week I could eat dinner out. I wanted boneless wings like from B-Dubs. And not spicy ones, but the ranch. I don't know. I think it was more the ranch. But I have been able to like stomach more chicken. Because like steak I've thrown up. It's interesting. I've even pasta. I did keep that down a couple times, but chicken seems to work. Chicken and rice, tofu and rice, anything with rice. And soy sauce. Oh my gosh, I've been like loving soy sauce lately. And I don't know, if there's like a day where I don't have lunch at home and I just need something, I'm like Panda Express. And then last night we had a hibachi dinner and it tasted so good. Like the best meal I'd ever had in my life. So I don't know if that's a craving, I guess, but I did have a craving last night and I haven't had that many cravings. They are starting to form now more. I think that I'm less nauseous, that I can actually think of food. But the other day I was craving fruit. I went to the grocery store and bought so much fruit and I got home and I ate so much fruit that I made myself bloated. I ate an orange, 2 mandarin oranges, cherries, blackberries. I ate so much fruit and I was so bloated. And then last night I was like, I need a chocolate Culver's concrete mixer. A mini chocolate concrete mixer with Reese's peanut butter cups. The mixture of salty and sweet in that is just mwah, chef's kiss. If you've never had a concrete mixer, just chocolate with Reese's peanut butter cups. It's so good. Okay, I'm going to put blush on and then I'm going to spray my face. I'm getting distracted. I'm talking so much. I'm not doing my makeup. So we went to Culver's last night and they were closed. We missed it by like 20 minutes. And I was like, no, what am I going to do? So he's like, do you want to go to Arby's and get a shake or something? And I was like, yes, that is not what I was craving, but that will suffice. And it did taste absolutely amazing, because if I were not pregnant, I would not be drinking that. Like, I was not drinking shakes, like, ever, because it just was such a, they're just so high calorie, and I never, like, felt like I could get one, I guess. And now I'm like, I'm craving it, and I'm pregnant, and I'm gonna have it. And it's not like I crave it every day. Like, if it was an everyday craving, I would be a little worried if I was drinking that every day, because obviously it's just not a healthy food. But I haven't been craving it every day, so I was like, I'm gonna give into this one. So yeah, I went maternity clothes shopping yesterday with my mother, and that was super. I did not know maternity clothes went by your original size and then just had a bigger belly. Like, I thought you would still have to size up, I guess. I don't know why. But that felt so good, because I was just wearing like really large shirts. It was just not fitting. Like, my shoulders, it was just not fitting, and I just felt like frumpy. And I just felt like, I don't know, like my clothes didn't fit. And it was just kind of annoying and depressing, because I'm like, I don't want to wear sweatpants out of the house. And I was really I can only really fit into the sweatpants. Obviously now I have some more clothes, but I was only fitting into sweatpants because everything else was just so tight and uncomfortable. I mean, the pants that I was in, there was no way I was fitting into those, even at like 6 weeks, like right after I found out, because of how bloated I was. Like, I was not fitting into those. But then I had 2 pairs of pants that I was actually originally going to get rid of because they were a little big on me. And those came in handy. Let me tell you what, like, just one size bigger than my original size, or 2 sizes bigger. Those were nice to have just for like that in between. I didn't need maternity yet. And now I'm definitely needing maternity. After I tried those pants on, I was like, oh, this is so much better. It, like, they fit my legs, but then obviously the belly, like, had the belly thing, and just so much better, so much more comfortable. And then the same with the shirts. Like, the shirts, I was in between a small and a medium before, and so I was like, oh, so I get a small or a medium now, and it fit like so much better around like this area, my shoulders, my boobs, like everything. And then it just has extra room here. It's so much better than just wearing big clothes all the time. Especially, like, I got a blouse, actually a blouse and like a nice little cardigan, and those were more like fitted, and those were really nice, so that I can feel like put together if we're going out to dinner or going to meet some people or whatever. And that was so handy having my mom shopping, because I was able to try stuff on, and if I needed a different size, she would just go back and grab something. I just went to Kohl's, and they had, it wasn't a huge section, but it wasn't bad. I only needed like a couple things, like 2 pairs of pants, and I think I got like 8 shirts. I might order another couple pairs of pants. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see how often I actually put the maternity pants on. I'm sure I'm only gonna put them on like if I'm going somewhere. So I think 2 is probably good. I got 1 pair of denim and 1 pair of black, like jegging type style. So the nursery, okay, we're not finding out the gender, which is so exciting. I kind of wanted to, because it's hard for me. I don't know if this is bad to admit, but it is kind of hard for me to like really connect with the baby. And maybe that's because it's only week 15 and I'm not really like popping a ton yet. Maybe it's because I haven't felt the baby move. But it is hard to like imagine having the baby and like having the baby in the nursery, because I'm like, what do I picture? I can't picture a boy or a girl. Like, I kind of just picture a baby. I don't know. So I do feel like if I knew the gender, I would like connect with the baby more, because I don't know. I feel like I would like have the name in mind, you know, and all that. But that's also really dangerous in my opinion. I don't want to jinx anything. I don't want to get, like, I do want to get attached, but it would be that much harder if something were to go wrong. And that may be a very grave, like, horrible way to think about it. But I also am like, there's something so special about when you're giving birth and like they say, you have a baby boy or you have a baby girl, and like just finding out. And I just picture like Chandler and I just like finding out and like looking at each other and looking at the baby, and like that's that most epic surprise you could ever have. So when I think about it that way, I'm like, oh, that would be really cool. So, and he doesn't want to know, and so I'm like, that's fine, like I'm not gonna ruin it by me finding out and you not finding out. So I was totally fine with like being on his page with that and like not finding out. But it makes the nursery and like the items to get before the baby that much harder, because everything has to be like neutral. Theme for the nursery, I've decided, is going to be Winnie the Pooh muted, and I will insert some pictures because I'm obsessed with this theme. Just like the muted, like the yellow, the pale pastel yellow, I think is so like dreamy for both a boy and a girl. Oh my gosh, you guys, I have to show you. The universe was just like sending me a sign, or it's just coincidence, whatever, that Winnie the Pooh is the perfect theme, because I got this pregnancy journal on Amazon, and this has been awesome. It's been so fun like filling it out. Okay, I loved the green because I'm really into plants and green in general. But the craziest thing is I opened it up, and the very first quote in there is a Winnie the Pooh quote. Like, how perfect is that? Chandler and I opened it up and we're like, it's Winnie the Pooh, because I had already picked out my nursery. Like, that was like the very first thing. It says, a grand adventure is about to begin. And it's so fun. So I literally have like, I just have to show you guys this because it's so cute. Finding out about you, and the story of like how I told Chandler and how we announced it. And then like I have a picture of how I showed Chandler. And then we have like the ultrasound, and throughout all the weeks I wrote down like when we told their grandparents and all that type of fun stuff. So that's been really cool, like doing that. All right, I'm feeling kind of heavy. You guys, I don't know how people put so much liquid and powder on. I would really like to be the girly that can put liquid bronzer on and then powder over top and then liquid blush and powder blush on top, but I just feel like it looks awful on my face. Like, it just looks so cakey. And even with just this amount, like with just liquid foundation and then powder everything else, my face feels heavy. And so I always feel better after I put finishing spray on. It just kind of melts it down a little bit. That's so much better, so much better than the liquid bronzer. You guys, I cannot believe this. I've recommended this in the past. I will still be doing videos of things not related to kids and pregnancy, just for the subscribers that, you know, don't have kids or don't plan on having kids. I really, truly believe that the time without kids for Chandler and I was the most amazing time. And I still want to, you know, have my own things besides the baby. And that might sound bad, but obviously I know the moms out there, like, you have to still have your own identity. And I know I'm gonna love this baby so much and everything, but I still want to do makeup videos and just like decor videos and of course hauls and stuff like that. I don't want like the whole channel to be about kids and pregnancy. My channel will not really be changing that much. I of course will be doing like some videos about maybe like pregnancy, you know, must-haves, or, you know, registry must-haves and stuff like that. But I don't want my whole channel to change into like a baby and kid and pregnancy channel. Plus, this is my first baby, so I really don't know that much at all. And with that, I'm all done with my makeup. And I think I told you guys everything I wanted to tell you guys. I know this is a really long video, and I'm so appreciative of the people that are going to continue to watch even though I took such a long break. It feels really good to be back. I have a few videos that I'm ready to film, ready to put out there for you guys. And again, thank you for watching, and I will see you in my next video. Bye!